This is Freddy from Rio. A little more wavy and rainy and grayish today. I thought it was such a cliche hearing people talk. Children are so happy. Remember how life was when we were kids? I thought it was such a cliche because I couldn't really remember that much. For some reason today it clicked a little bit. I'm also reading about getting rid of traumas which were formed as a kid in most lives. And you know, when you can see the glimpse of it, probably most of you can relate. I just couldn't, for some reason I couldn't make that click. But seeing the world as a newborn, as a kid, where everything feels new, man, isn't that great? Isn't that amazing? Like you're so excited about existence. Maybe it happens after you've gone through something. You've gotten through a tunnel, you've gotten free on the other side, and now you see the world with fresh eyes. It's amazing. Self-esteem and the practice of just coming to peace with all aspects of yourself. You know, every time you're feeling anxiety, you're getting an emotional flashback. Your subconscious mind is being reminded of emotional memories that come back. You may not see these memories or what happened when you were a kid, but the emotions you feel, like sometimes you just feel so cornered and you just want to flee, flight, freeze, fight. It's so overwhelming. You feel like almost death is there to take you. These moments are emotional flashback, and they come from traumas from childhood, mostly, as long as it's not very violent or anything obviously dangerous is not happening. You know, it's just verbal, it's just psychology, it's just dynamics between people. If you feel like you want to flee, flight, freeze, or fawn, that's an emotional flashback. And yeah, these flashbacks, they come up because they will keep coming up until you don't resist them, until you accept them and make peace with them. And yeah, love them. Loving yourself. You're loving, the art of loving yourself. That's also a thing that I was kind of tired of, or a little, yeah, I thought it was a cliche, loving yourself, you know? Isn't that kind of egoic? Loving yourself? How about loving everything? That's kind of how I question it. But now I see it a little, now I get it a little better. Loving yourself, loving aspects of yourself, like everything you feel and react to, emotional memories, like I talked about, through flashbacks. These when you're just being taken over for some reason. They will keep coming up until you make peace with them and loving, and until you love them. I think also one of the highest expression of this kind of self-love is when you just I don't know what comes first or the other, if it's the crying, the grieving, or if it's the actual love that makes you grieve, but it doesn't matter. In the states where I've felt the most self-love, I have been crying. And it's usually crying because of pain. I'm being reminded of some kind of pain or some innocence in myself from when I was a kid. The picture of me as a kid is central, is essential in this process here. And I see and I connect with this kid like I'm being there for this little kid who looks confused in his suffering. And that just sometimes makes me cry. If I'm crying and having deep realizations of self-love, this is the kid I'm seeing. Okay, I'm seeing the kid inside of me. And I think a lot of other people will say the same. And these flashbacks, anxiety, social anxiety. Like, social anxiety is a very important anxiety to discuss, because we do get triggered in situations with people. In my opinion, mostly with people. So it raises. It's important to talk about this, which I'm happy about realizing, since I have already started this journey of helping people with social anxiety. And but it's the same process. It's the same, these emotional flashbacks come up, and they will keep coming up, inviting you to love them. Okay, they're coming up because you haven't loved them. They haven't been fully embraced. They have been resisted at some level. So it's nothing to be scared of. It's okay, and that's also the attitude that it wants. It just wants to feel okayed. All right, and at some point you'll feel so overwhelmed by this mutual agreement with you and these aspects of yourself that you might start crying, and then this grieving will heal a lot of it for you. And it doesn't always need to happen, That's just when it gets when a lot is coming at once. All right. Those are the words for today. So, just checking those are the words for today. So key points. Emotional flashbacks is when you get freaking out emotionally, getting triggered, and these triggers will happen because they haven't been fully embraced in the past. They're reminding you of the past, and the key here is to be there with these aspects of you, and love them, forgive them. Just act compassionately. Look at them with compassion. Is there anything more? I think that's it. As always, a little view of beautiful Ipanema.